So welcome to Hatha. I'm so glad you guys are here with me today. It's always wonderful to get on the mat alongside you. And we're just gonna start on our backs. So just take your time. Like I said, if you haven't set up your space exactly how you like, go ahead and continue to do that. I see a few of you kind of moving around still, and that's all right. If you have some music you wanna start, feel free to turn on something a little calming. As we start to move into today's practice, taking just a moment to breathe it in and then let it out. Let it go. Taking this early on opportunity to really connect with your breath. Let it be the invitation you need to create space. Not only physical space within the body, but just that time, that physical space within the muscles and the emotional space perhaps that the heart needs, the mind needs. Today's opening intention comes from Louise Hay's Power Thought cards. The card I drew today says, I am here at the right time. I am here at the right time. The work I do on myself is not a goal. It is a process, a lifetime process. I choose to enjoy the process. The work I do on myself is not a goal, it's a process, and I choose to enjoy the process. Allowing thoughts of gratitude to come in wherever they can today. Taking time to notice the wonders of the body, the wonders of the space that you have provided for you in your safety, the safety of your home, the coziness of the space, the room where you're practicing in. Take time to notice how the body feels as you move through postures, enjoying the process. Hands can be rested on either sides of the body or maybe comfortably on the belly as you take your time to invite in those slow, easy, calm breaths. Today's Hatha practice is going to have many postures that involve a little bit longer hold than we might do in a flow practice. If the legs have been long, you might start to invite them up a little closer to you. Maybe knees get hugged into chest. Maybe you start to point and flex the toes here a little bit or roll around your ankles. It might feel good to start windshield wipering those knees from right to left. And then we're going to take a little bit of time for a nice long body stretch. So see if you can extend your legs long down the mat. Stretch the arms up over your head, reaching for the opposite edges of the room. Just make your body nice and long. Heels start to walk towards the right edge of your mat. Lift your upper back, your shoulders, your arms up towards the ceiling, and then reach them over towards the right edge of the mat as well, creating kind of a banana shape here with lots of extension down that side wall. And then when you feel ready, we'll take our time. We'll walk the heels of the feet back towards center. Head, neck, and shoulders do the same. And then we'll go to the other side. Walk the heels over towards the left edge of the mat. Head, neck, shoulders, arms, everything reaching as well over to that left side. You've got that same banana shape with the spine. Lots of length down that side wall. Breath is fluid, slow. Start walking the heels of the feet back to the center of the mat. Shoulders and arms back to center as well. And then we'll soften the knees. Go ahead and just bend those. Feet walk up towards the glutes. Hands are going to come forward. And then when you're ready, the feet will lift up off the ground. Knees and hands touch, making connection here. Inhale, let the legs go a little bit out from the glutes. So just kind of lifting the heels away from you. And then exhale, hug those knees in, bend the elbows, pull the heels to glutes. So inhale, add a little length. Exhale, pull it in. Now, if this shape doesn't work for you today, you can just explore maybe a circular motion here with the knees, or just rest there. But you can certainly decide how much pull feels good to your belly, feels good to your back. All right, give yourself one more. You should be turning on just a little bit of heat in the core. Next time those knees are into chest, rock yourself side to side. And then when you're ready, we're going to get up to a seated posture. So getting up off the floor a little faster today, getting ourselves to our seat, knowing that when we get to seat, if you'd like to add a prop underneath your hips or underneath your tail, feel free. Hands can walk themselves a little bit away out from the body. And get that spine nice and tall. Let's visit just some gentle movement in the head and in the neck. All right, next time your head comes back to a central place, lift the chin back up, head in line with the spine. Inhale, breath brings the left hand up towards the ceiling, and then just let that left hand reach over and across the body. Softening through your right elbow, side body stretch. Inhale, switch sides, opposite hand lifts, let it reach over. So see how my chest is staying nice and square to the front? That's what we're looking for here. Allow the body to get into that side wall. We're not going to rotate this shoulder over because then that's where we kind of lose that shape we're trying to create. Give yourself another round on both sides. So depending on where you are with your breath, ideally you're inhaling when your hands are coming back up, and you're having a little exhale when you tip over. Perfect. Next time your hands come back up, let's just let them stay at center. Reach the palms up towards the ceiling, flipping the hands up and then wrist down. Flipping the hands up and then wrist down. You should feel a lot of work in your shoulders. Last one. Palms lift up and then turn your palms so that they face the walls to the outer sides of your mat, and then just bring the hands back down. Perfect. Inhale, reach these hands up. This time they're going to connect at the top, make high prayer. See if you can put them in a place where your gaze can look up, and then exhale that to the heart. One more time. Inhale, reach. See if your gaze can join your thumbs, and then exhale it to the heart. Lacing the fingers together, press the palms straight forward. And then just tip a little bit side to side. Continuing to kind of wipe back and forth from side to side. All right, when you feel ready, start to bring these hands back into the body and then let them reach around back. Lacing hands, let the heart open. Perfect. Let the hands slowly walk out of that shape as we start to rotate onto hands and knees. So go ahead, find yourself into tabletop pose. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, just taking your time. Let this rock a little bit, right and left, or maybe even putting some weight into the hands, rocking forward and back. Next time your hips are back, sit in child's pose. Let the chest drop down to the earth. Surrender the belly into the ground, head relaxing into the earth. Couple more breaths right here. Looking for length. Inhale, breath, bring yourself back up to table, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, couple rounds of cat-cow with the belly dropping down on your inhale and then a rounded back on your exhale. Take your time. Coming back to a table after you complete that next round. Right hand's gonna come underneath your face as you inhale. Lift the left hand up towards the sky. Give yourself a little twist right here. Perfect. Let that left hand come back down. Take place of the right hand on the mat and open to the other side. Let this hand come back down, take place on the mat, toes curl under, first down dog of this practice. Let the spine get nice and long. This might require a little bit of walking here to kind of walk out the back sides of those legs, the spine. And then when you feel ready, these knees are gonna go back down to earth. Right foot's gonna extend nice and long behind you. See if you can elevate the left hand, lift it up off the ground, reach that left hand forward, giving yourself a nice balancing table. Inhale to add length through toes and fingers. Exhale, let your elbow and knee come to find one another. So just a few more times moving through that shape. Looking for a little length, a little strength. Last one. Nice and long. Hand comes down and finds the earth. Curl the toes under on this back foot. Just push through those toes. Lots of length through that leg. As you feel ready, you're going to take this leg that's been long behind you and let it step all the way through between your hands. Inhale to reach the hands up towards the sky. Let the shoulders settle. Adding a little twist, the chest is going to turn towards that front knee. Open the arms into a T. Inhale, bring this back up nice and tall. Right foot is forward, so left hand is going to come down towards the earth. Add a twist. Let this right hand in the sky take a circle. One more circle. And we'll bring this right hand back to ground. This foot that's forward is going to go all the way back again for that same balancing table. Let it go back behind you. Lift the left hand. Go back to balance. Left hand comes down to find the ground. Right foot turns on its inside edge touching the mat. Left toes opening just slightly as we lift the right hand up towards the ceiling for a little side plank. Maybe this hand even reaches up and over the head to make a long spine. Perfect. Good work. Taking yourself from that shape, both hands return to the ground, toes curl under, hips lift up, downward facing dog. Walk it out. All right, when you're ready, knees return back to ground. Switching everything to the other side, we're gonna keep the right knee down, left leg extends. Balancing table, hand reaches out in front of you or bird dog pose, and allow for a little bit of movement, elbow to knee. So we did about 5 or 6 of these last time, just depending on the frequency of your movement, how fast your breath made this work. But just take your time, find connection where you can here. Knowing that you can always drop this hand to the earth and just breathe with that lower body. Last one, back to that balancing table, hand comes down. Go ahead and put the toes down to the earth, push through that heel, get a nice long calf stretch. And when you're ready, you lift this foot back up and start to step it all the way through, up here towards the front of your mat. We're in a low lunge on the other side. When you feel ready, hands lift up. Relax those shoulders, let them settle down away from the ears. Left foot is forward, so your right hand this time is going to head down towards the mat. Left hand stays lifted, palm facing outward, and then give it a circle. We did 2 of these circular motions last time, allowing for some opening through that shoulder, some stretch through the hip flexor. Finishing that off, the hand comes back down to earth. Take your time to position both hands here as this front foot starts to step back for your balancing table again. Opposite hand lifts from the earth. Go back to balance. Let the right hand come down to the ground. Put it even with the forehead. Flip the inside edge of this left foot to the earth. Toes start to kind of peel behind you as you open for side plank on this side. Staying in that space. Maybe the bicep comes down by ear to get a little longer through the side wall. A lot of strength work on that right arm. Lots of side body opening down all the way through the hip flexor on that left leg. And then we'll just start to peel down away from this. Hands go to earth. Toes start to curl under. Downward facing dog. Walk it out. All right, when you feel ready, small steps with your feet, just take your time. Start to walk forward towards your hands. You're in your first forward fold of this practice, so really surrender the chest down towards the tops of the thighs. Let the head be heavy, and then find your half lift. Exhale, drop that down. Inhale, reach and look. Bring these hands up nice and high above the head. Exhale, let them fall to heart. Let's go again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, let them fall to heart. This time as you inhale and reach, look up towards your thumbs. Exhale, forward fold. Bend at the knees if you need it. Keep that spine nice and flat all the way down into the earth. Half lift. Let the spine get long. Crown points forward. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back to the back of the mat. Spin that right heel. Find your warrior one. Take your time. Bring your chest up. Let those hips square up the front of your mat. Staying in this shape, but dropping the hands down by the heart. Give yourself 3 pushes. Just send that breath out and then bring it back in. Last one. Next time those hands are back, lift them up. Now this knee that is bent to the front, we're going to go ahead and bend that same elbow. Let the hand try to pat you on the back as the opposite hand looks for the elbow. If this shape doesn't work, you can bring it out a little bit further in front of you. But the idea here, get a little bit of work for that tricep, all while opening that back hip flexor. Back leg should be getting a lot of attention. Watch the curvature of the spine. Keep lifting through the crown of your head. Hands coming away from that grip, let them reach up. And then just spin to open yourself to a warrior two. Now check your warrior two, because ideally, we'd like this heel to be in line, probably your big toe or your instep, and make your arms nice and wide. Trying something new, we'll flip this palm to the ceiling. See if we can lift the heel on that front foot as you take a reverse warrior. It's a big shape. Back to warrior two, drop that heel. Let your elbow find the knee if it likes for a side angle. One more time, same shape. Maybe lift the heel. Back to warrior two, heel drop, side angle. Perfect, bring it back to that same warrior two shape. We're gonna cartwheel from our warrior two all the way forward. So this is taking a little bit of turns on both of our feet, spinning on those toes. Take that low lunge. Knee drops down into the ground. Keep your right hand on the earth. Open your left arm, just as we did in our opening sequence. Give it 2 sweeps. Same circular motion. And then this hand will revisit the floor. Step this front foot all the way to the back. Same balancing table that we found earlier. This time turning that left foot on its side, right hand coming underneath the face. Now if you'd like to take this to a fuller version of side plank this time, perhaps you decide to stack the feet and open into a fuller extension of that shape. If you feel like you want to be fuller but you need a little tip to help, step this top leg forward about 1/4 or 3/4 of the way up the mat. Last full breath there. And then start to come out of that shape however it feels best. Knees might rejoin the earth in doing so. Maybe child's pose makes sense to you, or maybe a downward facing dog, your choice. Continue to breathe. Continue to look for length, strength, release. Knowing you're right where you're supposed to be. This is all part of the process. Growing, learning, evolving on your mat. When you feel ready and alive, we're going back up to our hands, feet walking forward, maybe small steps, or a large step, or a leap. Half lifting, dropping back down. And then finding that length again through the spine. Hands reach out tall, let them touch. Exhale into the heart. One more time just to reach and release. Hands go up. And then exhale it back to the heart. Next time the hands go up, we'll add the forward fold. Half lift. Back down. Left foot steps back. Left foot steps back. Turn the heel. Warrior one. Again, just as you did warrior one on the other side, you're taking this opportunity to turn both of your hips. Let them face up the front of your mat. Your arms are lifted, but your shoulders are dropped down from your ears. And you're getting comfortable here. So sometimes we have to kind of wiggle around. We need to get our feet set where they feel secure on the mat. Our gaze is forward, hands drop, 3 pushes, take your time. So your rhythm may not match mine perfectly, and that's okay. I want you following your own breath. Maybe give it one more, because some of us took us a minute to kind of get into a good groove there. And then let those hands shoot back up. A turn on this back foot starts to open us into warrior two. And you'll watch, I usually have to walk my front foot a little more forward so that that heel can talk to my back foot and draw a nice good line there. Hands might reach out, you might make T shape. And then when we do this reverse, we flip the front hand, we lift this front heel, taking a slightly different shape. Lots more work on that front leg. Heel starts to drop, elbow moves to knee, top hand slides over the top. Back to that warrior two shape, beautiful work, flipping, lifting that heel, lean back and release. Back to warrior two, elbow to knee, reach over the top. Seeing how the front of my chest stays nice and square to you all, to the front of the side of my mat rather. All right, beautiful work, back to warrior two. Watching those arms, making sure they're not floating up by your ears. Easy cartwheel forward towards the front of your mat. Lots of turning happening in the toes to bring us safely down to the earth. Low lunge for a breath. And then knee drops to the ground. Keeping the left hand down this time. Right hand lifts. Same 2 circles. Next time this hand rejoins the ground, we'll take time to step this front foot back, balancing table again, let it go behind you. You might even choose to lift the hand up off the earth. This time when we bring the left hand down, just as we did before, we're looking at about the forehead. So the heel of my hand and my forehead are even. I turn this right foot on its inside. Now you might choose to take your modified version here, just as you did before, or choose to move into more of a fuller extension. Running out of mat here. On that side body. Knowing you can always take your top leg, let it step up the mat here a little bit. Make sure the extension of this arm is lifting up. Gaze might be to the floor, straight to the side, or maybe even up to the ceiling. Cartwheeling out of that when you feel complete, bringing yourself to down dog or maybe child's pose. Give yourself one more breath in whatever pose you've chosen here. drop knees to ground if they aren't already there. Bring yourself up to tabletop. Right hand moves directly underneath the face as the left hand lifts back up towards the sky. As you exhale, let this left hand go all the way underneath this time. Shoulders coming down towards the earth. You might choose to keep your right hand handy, or it can stretch way out in front of you. Hips can stay high as the head falls to the ground, or you might choose to sit back on your heels and make this pose feel more like a child's pose with just an arm slid underneath. Next natural inhale, take your time to move up from that shape. Maybe the hand reaches back up to the sky and then rejoins the mat. Let's take a cat-cow in between sides here, so belly dropping down on your inhale. A rounded spine on your exhale. And then we'll just start to move the left hand back underneath the face. Your right hand reaches up for length this time. And then when you feel ready, right hand slowly slides itself underneath, just as you did before, bringing that shoulder down towards the earth. Maybe you walk this other hand far out in front, or maybe it stays a little more relaxed. Some even like to bring it up and tuck it along the back. You might choose to sink down into something more familiar, more of a child's pose shape. But let that shoulder joint just have a little bit of space to relax, to unravel. Not sure if you can see through the visual here, but the hand that's reached underneath, that I took underneath that palm, is facing upward. That feels best in my shoulder. You can always explore which way your hand is turned, but I would say that for most of us, it's going to feel best with that palm facing up. All right, friends, using your next natural inhale, start to pull that hand out from underneath. It may go all the way back up to the sky one more time, and then find its way down to mat. Take a quick peek back between your knees, make sure you can't see your toes, and then take a cat-cow. From that cat-cow, toes are going to curl under, hands might walk one big step away from you as you lift into a downward facing dog. Walk out that dog. Right foot lifts up off the earth. Give yourself a little balance work in a three-legged dog. Holding the strength in the arms, pushing back through that opposite heel towards the back of the room, and then bring that foot down to earth. Try again, opposite side, left foot lifts, length through that back heel. So not a lot of weight in your arms and in your wrists. We're really trying to push all of this back towards the wall behind us. Take your time, foot drops back to earth. Knees to the ground, hands sweep back by the heels, palms flip up, child's pose. Let the shoulders fall away from the midline, so we're really letting them fall apart, down away from the middle of the back. If you feel tension in your brow or in your forehead, take your time to kind of sweep the head side to side here. Massaging the middle of the forehead. And if this shape just feels like too much, this is where it might be nice to reach for a block or your blanket, put underneath the head. All right, perfect. Just taking your time. Walking those hands slowly forward. All right, moving your way onto your seat. So that might be crisscrossing at the ankles, maybe walking the knees a little bit forward towards the wrists, and then just kind of falling over your lap. Legs are gonna go nice and long down the mat. Imagining you have kind of a brick or a board right here across your lap. Let's see if we can lift up and over that to take a seated forward fold. Again, allowing for some openness through the back sides of those legs, letting the chest find length, crown of the head, extending. As you feel ready, inhale, breath brings the right knee in towards your chest. Invite your left hand to the outer edge of that right knee. You can step this right foot over and across that left leg if you want a bigger shape, or it can stay right there nice and tight. Lifting the right hand up, let it spin and circle behind you as you take a seated twist. Always pulling up through the crown of your head, maintaining that long spine. Inhale to bring the hand back through the center. Now if you've stepped across your lap, go ahead and bring that back. And then you're just gonna let this knee fall out to the side so that you are creating kind of a tree shape. I think you can probably see my legs better if I'm slightly angled. And then you'll inhale, breath straight up, nice and tall. Same brick or board over that front leg, get some extension here. You might be able to get a little bit more out of this when you have the other leg off to the side, or maybe not. This might not be the side that feels open. Take your time. Inhale, breath starts to bring chest back up. You might even reach hands to the outer edge of that knee that's been standing off to the side. Stand it up. Give it one more hug. And then we'll extend it long to meet the other leg. So just as you did before, left knee this time will get hugged in. Right hand looks for the outer edges of that knee. This foot can step over and across if it likes, or it can stay nice and close. Lifting, same arm as bent knee, initiate the twist. Feeling free to even close the eyes as you gaze over that shoulder. Unwinding from this pose, bringing things back to center. Letting that foot, if it's been across, come back over the lap. Knee falls out to the side. Get the tip of your tail really in contact with the earth. Hands reach up, and then add extension. Remembering that we're trying to get as much length as we can out of the spine. And then use that inhale to slowly start to bring the chest back up. Standing this knee up, we'll give it one more hug. And then you're gonna just invite this other leg that's been long, bring it up the mat as well. Both knees in towards your chest. Option to stay right here on your seat, or if you'd like to bring hands towards your hips, you can add a little lift to put you into a full squat. Moving from that squatted position, those of us who are up on our feet, hands will come back behind us again just to welcome us slowly back towards the earth. Let your knees start to fall out, move into bound angle. So the soles of the feet slightly in towards the pelvis, the toes opening like pictures, pages in a book. You can sit tall, visit any kind of neck movements that feel comfortable in your own body. Or you might choose to take a little bend as you bring your chest slightly forward towards those toes. Taking a cobbler's pose, maybe hands positioned equally on either sides of the feet. And then just taking your time to remove yourself from that posture. If your chest has been forward, it comes up. Maybe hands come to the outer edges of those legs, help them back to center. And then give yourself a quick little check of space. See where you are on your mat. We're gonna head back to our back to start closing out today's practice. So take with you any props that you might find helpful, a blanket, a block. If you're lucky enough to own a bolster, you're welcome to bring that with you down to the earth. And we'll start to settle down into the ground. Take advantage of whatever motions or movements feel good in your body. I'm gonna lift my feet up towards the sky. An inversion feels really nice. If you happen to have a block in your home practice space, feel free to bring your feet to the earth. Maybe take a slight lift of the hips as you slide that yoga block underneath your back. If you don't have a block, but you have a chair or a wall nearby, feel free to turn yourself so that your legs can move up that wall space and use it for balance to just kind of rest the legs on. Same thing works with a chair. Staying in whatever shape you've chosen here. for a little bit of inversion for a few more breaths. And depending on what kind of music you had chosen for today's practice, whatever background music you've had playing, you might want to turn the volume down or just get it into a place where whatever playlist you're in gets a little more peaceful. So if you need to reach for something to adjust that music, feel free to do so. If you'd like to add a little more length to the body, it feels nice oftentimes to keep that block on its lowest setting and then let the legs extend long down the mat. Again, if you don't own a block or you don't have one handy, if your legs have been up the wall, take your time to slowly come down, or you can finish your class right there. If that pose feels really nice to you, go ahead. You can stay there for as long as you may need. One of the luxuries of practicing at home is that at any point in time, you can stop listening. You can ignore the cues that you're hearing from your device and just follow your own yoga. Not worrying about not conforming to what everyone else is doing in the classroom. You are at home, you're in a sacred space where we encourage you to find the opportunity to listen to your own body. Practice with care, but listen to your own body. If there are other postures that the body might be calling for, feel free to visit those. For me, before I finish today's practice, a spinal twist is going to feel really nice. So I'm going to invite my left knee into my chest first and extend my right leg nice and long down the mat. I might even add a little bit of pointing and flexing in my ankles and in my toes. And then I'm going to invite this left knee over and across the body to visit for a spinal twist. My left hand might even stretch out to a T shape as I keep a little pressure with my right hand along the outer edge of that left leg. Gazing in the direction of the knee for the most eased version. Gazing towards the ceiling for a little bit more. And then obviously gazing in the complete opposite direction of the knee is going to give me the most deepest or the fullest, I don't know word I'm looking for, but it's going to give you a little bit more twist. Just encouraging your cervical spine to talk as well. Stay in that twisted shape for a few more breaths if it feels good in your own body. And then when you feel ready, you can take your time, use your hands, use a little support, bring that knee back to center. Maybe it elevates through the foot or hugs into the chest, and then you can switch sides. Just as you did before, your ankles and toes might want a little space. And then you can invite this knee over and across the body just as you did before, knowing that if you have props handy, you can always catch the knee with a block or a blanket. Opposite arm might reach in T, or if space doesn't really allow, you can certainly let that arm find more of a cactus shape. Knowing that that bottom leg, that left leg, the fully extended leg, doesn't always have to be fully extended. On this side, to me, it feels better to let my left knee take a soft bend, bring my heel back towards my glute just slightly. If that feels good to you, feel free to soften the shape of that bottom leg. Again, letting the gaze go upward. in the direction of the knee or in the complete opposite direction. Moving out of that twist whenever your body feels ready. Easing back to center and taking just one more final moment. Any other remaining postures with that particular leg or just anywhere in the body that might make sense. Revisiting that invitation to love right where you are, to be right here and present. Grateful for this physical body, grateful for your physical surroundings, the safety of your home. Grateful for the community of yogi friends to move and stretch with today. Allow that noticing to turn into thinking. Allow those thoughts to turn into feelings. And then allow those feelings to put you into a place of stillness. Finding the final pose that's going to let you relax, let you find that true space to let things sift. Maybe you're flat on your back in traditional Savasana pose with toes rolling towards the outer edges of the mat, palms flipped towards the ceiling. Perhaps you have other props nearby you'd like to use underneath the backs of the knees or underneath the head. Or maybe you'd like to just move yourself to a side lying Savasana. You choose. I will certainly call you back when it's time to conclude class together today, but just take your time, releasing each muscle group one at a time. And if at any point in time you're called away from this space, bring yourself back by using the comfort of the breath. The slow, easy inhales and slow, easy exhales. Slowly starting to become aware of your breath. Adding gentle movements back into the body as you feel ready. Wiggling the fingers or wiggling the toes. Maybe opening and closing the hands. Or letting the back of the head stay rested on the earth, but sway the nose back and forth across the ceiling. Listening to the body to add in easy movements Starting to work you to knees to chest, perhaps, maybe rolling to your right-hand side, resting on that right arm as if it was a pillow, hugging the knees in close in somewhat of a fetal posture. Before bringing the hands to the earth, pushing into the ground, and finding a seat. When you find that seat, bring palms to palm, thumbs to chest, spine tall, eyes closed. Invite in one more final reflection. A little bit of quiet space to notice. I am here at the right time. The work I do on myself is not a goal. It is a process, a lifetime process. I choose to enjoy the process. I choose to enjoy the process. I greatly appreciate you making this time for yourself, not only for your physical body, but for your mind and body. To just sift right alongside us here. May you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you again. Namaste.